our friends on Sandy Feet. We're in the Garden of the Queen to see some crocodiles.
Previously on Trio.
Hey gang, welcome back. Last time on Trio, we were at Cayo Cuervo, and the mission was to rescue an old man of the sea, hawksbill sea turtle, from an uncertain fate. Check out our last episode for that amazing adventure.
Dude, don't get caught again, buddy.
This time on Trio, we're sailing back to the shallow waters of the Jardein de la Reina from Cayo Cuervo. And with the crew of Sandy Feet leading the way, we get up close and personal with one of the local crocodiles. So come along with Trio on another epic adventure in remote southern Cuba.
Accidents happen when you're sailing in rough seas, and if you don't tie absolutely everything down, even in a catamaran, problems happen. The rice maker from last night's dinner fell on the floor, and now we got rice everywhere. Thanks for cleaning that up, Cole.
Yep.
Oh, the seas are calming a little bit, hey?
Yeah, I guess. I don't think so.
We're going through a tiny little cut up here.
Come on, get over.
Right in that little area there, between Reef and Mangrove Islands. And it's still blowing 20. We got one reef in. Jib is just probably double reefed.
So we're halfway through the Garden of the Queen and still sailing with a missing rudder. There's been no opportunity for repairs. Course changes and using autopilot in higher winds and seas has been dangerous. Earlier today, while using autopilot, we had an accidental jibe that was hard on the rigging and the crew.
Now you can see the reef and the jib. It's basically just 1/3 unfurled. And you look at the top of the mast, you can see that the main isn't all the way up, it's reefed. And the reefing line at the back there, the yellow, the green is the next reef. Pretty easy to do if you do it before you get crazy out here. And by that, even when you get out, as long as the seas aren't too big, turn into the wind, reef it up, away you go. Covered in salt.
Very nice inside the channel, super flat water. Sweet!
Let's see the channel, it's flat water. Oh, nice.
Oh, awesome. Good report. Super flat water as soon as we get in the channel.
Yay.
There's a red marker out here. Yeah, because we're covered in salt.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know how easy it's going to be to make that turn. Good. I was thinking about when we first started, there's no way I would have hand steered in 20 knots of wind. I would have been way too nervous.
Some markers aren't where they say they are in here in the Cuba side of the Jardein de la Reina, like this one here, but it's so big you can't miss it. Just the way it goes sometimes.
Whoa.
If you look on the chart, that's it there.
What are you making? Making BLTEs. Oh, without the L, because there's no more lettuce. Oh. Not a lot of fresh food going on out here in the Garden of the Queen, even if it's not a very good garden, I guess. But breakfast will still be yummy. Ooh, that's going to be a messy sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sorry, viewers, are making your mouth water.
Can I grab 2 plates, please?
Okay.
No, I don't see it.
Well, we're going to leave nothing
So we're going through a tight channel here in the Garden of the Queens, and on our chart it shows a magenta line that you should pass. And I don't know if you can see right here, but there is a reef right there. There's a little tiny stick sticking out at the edge of the reef marking it, and it shows that as a green marker on the chart, but I guess the green is worn off and blown away. So here we go through the tricky channel.
It was 22 feet, it's showing 50 now. But there's another reef out there that you can just see, they come right up to the surface.
Yeah, they do. They must have grown in the last little while. If you're coming out here to sail, make sure you buy yourself a pair of polarized sunglasses for this kind of sailing, because it totally helps you be able to see the reefs better than the naked eye or with regular sunglasses. Makes a huge difference. I wonder if you'd be able to notice if I put my sunglasses in front of it. I just cleaned them so they're wet. How are we looking, Cap?
Yeah, we just picked up speed.
Oh yeah.
Turn more beam to the wind, and look at how flat it is in here. I mean,
Yeah, it's really nice. It was so choppy before we got in the channel. Now it's nice and smooth, so
the bow of the boat's covered in salt.
I was able to make breakfast. Brad hasn't finished his BLT yet.
No.
Minus the L. It looks pretty yummy. Yeah, do you want me to take over so you can eat your sandwich?
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm trimming the sails!
You know, you might fall over backwards, so I don't know if you should do that. The sailing conditions today are perfect.
Stellar.
This is stellar. We're doing 7.5 to 8 knots, 12 knots of wind, so we're doing more than half the wind speed. It's calm. So we got 9 knots of wind, and we're doing 7 to 7.5 knots of speed. This boat and our new sail that we have on board now, it sails so fast and in light wind. It just loves light wind, and if you have heavier wind, then you reef. If anybody wants to know where we got our sail,
Shoot us an email. Yeehaw! 8.2.
8.2, wow, 8.1. You having fun hand steering, babe?
Yeah, I know. Sounds like a game.
Notice how much correction Chris is having to make to keep our course. This is because we only have one rudder. Steering now takes full-time concentration, and the autopilot only works in calmer conditions.
We went back down to 0, so half a foot under our keel.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it gets deeper just the other side there, doesn't it? It's like there's a brown patch and then it gets deeper just after that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find an anchorage to anchor out here in the Jardein de la Reina, Cuba's south side, and this.
I was hoping, did you see the little speedboat come out? I was hoping he was going to come out and tell us how to get through.
Yeah, I was hoping that too.
Yeah, that's luck.
So we were trying to find a place to drop the hook for the night. It's getting late.
So I guess the options right now are to go out to Avalon. Laura's saying should we try and go out further around, but I don't know whether you saw anything over there.
Do you see to the left of the real bright? You're a bit higher than us. How does it look over there? I think I see brown.
We're heading that way, I guess, eh?
So Andy was ahead of us, so he's been trying to check and see where it was deepest. And our friends in Sail Pending have a drone.
Like tracking the sand. I think that's the deepest part that I can see.
Alright, we'll stick our noses in it one more time and see what happens.
And they flew their drone to see if we could get in through a channel that big ship got in through. It's marked over on this side that it's an anchorage over there on that side, but nothing's really marked on this side. So we're just kind of spinning our wheels trying to see where we're going to drop the hook. We don't get a ton of wind tonight, so it's not the end of the world if we ended up kind of exposed, but anyway, that's what's happening. The wind is at, oh look, 0.0. So we just went through a really intense shallow spot. Our sounder, depth sounder showed 0.7.
We don't know yet.
Oh, and then they just told us there was massive manta rays on the bottom. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big dark spots. I know. I gotta go back to the helm. I didn't press auto. Yeah, so it's really shallow. We came through there, 0.9, 0.7 I saw, and now we're in 6 feet of water under our keel. 10 feet of water now, and we just saw this massive manta rays. And the water is really clear. And there's a dive boat that's anchored out here, so we're thinking it's gonna be a really neat spot to check out. Spend a few days here. Wind's supposed to die completely off, so we'll spend a few days here and check it out. This is called Cayos Labyrinthos, and I could see that it'd be a labyrinth of keys. Cayos Labyrinthos. Chris just said she saw an eagle ray. Oh, there he is. Look at there. Look at him right there. He's massive. You can see all of his dots. Oh, I wish the camera would have picked that up. Wow. Oh my gosh. Manta rays. 5 manta rays and now an eagle ray.
I've never seen a manta ray before. That'd be so
Me
cool.
either. Wow.
I would think there's probably lots of turtles here too with all the seagrass. So far we've seen, what have we seen? 4 manta rays, 1 spotted eagle ray, and our friends saw a nurse shark. So I think the snorkeling is going to be pretty amazing. I can't wait. This is part of the floating hotel out here in Jardein de la Reina, middle of nowhere. You want to come do some bone fishing? That looks like the place to do it.
German guys.
Yeah, they look like they're having a good time. Brad, there's a sandy spot right here.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, but I'm at a bad angle, so I'm gonna try. Do you want to come and take over my bike? That'll be good. With our friends on Sandy Feet. We're in the Garden of the Queen to see some crocodiles. They just saw them and took some pictures. gonna go check it out. Apparently there's one the size of the dinghy and one a little bit smaller. And those guys, Andy and Laura, our friends on Catamaran Sandy Feet, they got in the water and swam with them and took photos. Anyway, here we go. There's another crocodile and he's moving towards us. He just came out of the mangroves. You can just barely see him breaking the water. He doesn't look happy with us. It's like, hey. What are you doing? You don't look like food. Oh, I can see his teeth. Oh, he hissed at us. Okay, so Andy is right next to the crocodile. The funny thing is, he's Australian. So, if you guys know who Crocodile Dundee is, or Steve Irwin, they got nothing on Andy. So, Andy, our Australian crocodile hunter friend, well, he's not a crocodile hunter, but our Australian friend, look at him getting closer and closer and closer to that crocodile. Look at him, inch forward, and the crocodile's just sitting there. To deep water. Here he comes. The kids get to see it too. Those are our friends from Sandy Feet who are like true crocodile adventurers. Not hunters, just adventurers. We do it with rum. There's my wife's rum. There's their rum. Those guys don't do it with rum. They do it with big ass cameras. Big ass cool cameras. You touched it! Andy just said it feels like a leather handbag. Rich, Krista wants a cheers.
You left her hanging.
Yeah, you left her hanging. Cheers.
Cheers. Here's to...
Here's to what?
I don't know. Here's to crocodiles in Cuba.
Good one. Crocodiles in Cuba.
Too.
See, this is a Delos video right now without the bikinis.
Yeah, I got a bikini on. Look at.
I'm putting that on YouTube.
It's the Cuban dinghy salsa. Yes. Yeah.
I know what that's like.
You should try it. It's awesome.
Oh, it's beautiful in here.
Well, that's it for this episode of Trio Travels. Thanks for watching, and we've got more epic Cuba to share with you. So help us out, give us a thumbs up, share our videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks. We need your help to grow and continue. And we'll see you next time on Trio. Cheers.
Ahora, por favor. Hasta luego, trío.
Hasta luego.